How's it going, everybody? We're here to check out the top skins submitted to the workshop this week. If you're new to these videos, these are just the skins that have been submitted to the workshop and meet the proper requirements. To be accepted does not mean all of these skins will make it in game. Only 8 or so are chosen every week, and skins are rarely gone back to. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Starting out first, we've got a hoodie and pants set for you, and it is the Esqueleto hoodie and set. I believe that's how you say it. Again, I feel like I'm butchering it. But hey, yeah, it's got this very, very cool kind of Mexican skeleton theme thing going on, which I think is quite cool. And you've got this very dapper looking skull up here with a mustache and tie. And yeah, it's just altogether a very cool looking set. I could see a lot of people rocking this in game. Next, we only have one item of clothing and armor for you this week. So here's our armor. It comes in 2 different versions. There is the pearlescent metal and pearlescent gold. And last time we showed you the metal, so this time we want to show you the gold with the set. And this is just a really beautifully sculpted set. It's very fancy, semancy. It has lots of little details there. Kind of has a bit of a Victorian kind of feel to it. And yeah, just one of those sets you go out and feel very regal in. I can see a lot of people wanting this just for the show-off factor. Next up, we've got our deployables, and we've got a couple furnaces up for you. Our first one here is kind of a tiki furnace, so to say, and it is the Furnace God of Prosperity. Hey, there you go. Definitely seems like something you may actually want in your base there. And when you light it up, man, it actually lights up all over the place. And we'll be, of course, showing this at night so you can see it much better, but definitely a very cool design. Next over here, we've got another furnace for you, and this one is a continuation in a set that's quite popular, the Molten Visage set. And yeah, it doesn't look like there's too much going on besides some kind of nice sculpting here, and then you light it up. And bam, there it is. The dragon's eyes light up, the whole furnace, the runes, and everything. And it's just all together a very cool looking furnace. And at night, it just even pops so much more. Next, we've got a little wooden box for you. And this one here is contraband sulfur. Look at that. It's got some glow sticks on it. Now, the glow sticks look a little flat. I'm not sure how that's going to go over with Hulk, but they did make them pop for as much as you can with the surface you're working with. So we'll just have to see how that goes. One way or another, definitely a creative little box for sure. Next, we've got a large box for you, and this one looks like it's all kind of pieced together with random stuff and rust, which just fits right in. This is the Crusher Weapons box. And you can see the whole thing has a bunch of Crusher teeth in there, and then this one has everything spelled out with bones. So yeah, it's kind of an odd theme. It's kind of like tech looking, and then it has pieces of bones everywhere. But hey, you know what? That's kind of Rust. Rust kind of has some tech, and then it's also very primitive. So I guess it fits in that manner. Next, we've got something very simple for you. It's just a little welcome rug. And it comes in 2 versions. There's this one, and there's a darker kind of like a black plastic kind of look one, or rubber your typical rubber welcome mat kind of look, basically. So you can check that out in the description, where I always have that workshop link. Next, we've got quite a few doors for you, so let's jump right into them. The first one here is going to be the Shamrock Sheet Metal Door by Raph, and well, there you go. In theme of St. Patrick's Day, you got a Shamrock door. Then over here, we've got ourselves something of a skull. This is the Dark Essence door. It's got a glow and a non-glow version, so we'll be sure to show you that here shortly. Then we've got something a little more ancient and kind of Legionnaire looking, and well, this is the Legion door, so hey, there you go. Pretty straightforward. Then over here, we've got something a little more on the creative artsy side. This is the Witness Sheet Metal door. There's 2 different versions, one with kind of a purple ring, and one with this white outer kind of glow. It's kind of more of like a white with a hint of blue, I would say, to it. Then over here, we've got another one. This is the Alchemical Metal Door by GBG. Definitely looks like some stuff is leaking through it there that you might not want to touch. And last, for our single sheet metal doors, we've got the Neon Revolution, and this thing is just very, very, very bright. Moving on, we've got a couple of double sheet metal doors. This one may look familiar because we had a single version of it quite some long time ago. This is the Monitored Double Door. So the first one was quite popular. I still see it on bases every now and then out in the wild, so hey, maybe this one will do quite well. Next, we've got a very fancy looking double door for you. This one is the Valhalla riveted double door. And yeah, this thing is just absolutely beautiful. Look at all of that beautiful Viking art. Next, we've got some garage doors. This one right here is the graffiti weapon door. So there you go. Now, I'm not sure if you really want to label where your weapons are hidden if someone's raiding you, but hey, I guess if they're that deep, maybe it doesn't matter to you anyways. We'll just have to see, but one way or another, definitely a cool graffiti art on this garage door. Next, again, we've got another labeled one. I guess people want to make some weapon garage doors this week. We've got the GD Weapons Depot, so there you go. Then over here, we've got a very beautiful rose for you. This is the Neon Rose Garage Door, and, well, I think the name is pretty straightforward for it. Then lastly, we've got two armored single doors for you. This one is the Evil Lizard Armored Door, and, well, there's like a dragon on a skull and then kind of a tree in the background. Definitely quite cool. If we go ahead and take a look at the other side, it's just mirrored pretty much. And then over here, we also have the Midnight Armored Door, and this one is a very peaceful kind of door. Also has a tree. I guess trees and armored doors are the thing this week. And it also appears to be mirrored on that side as well. No differences. All right. Check out the glow on these. Very beautiful. You won't lose your weapons there, that's for sure. That's a very bright one. Look at that. You won't miss that door. Oh, weird. No glow in the back. Very interesting. I guess to kind of focus to the grinder there. There we are. And let's do a little spin on these furnaces here. There's those dragon eyes and the runes. And the prosperity furnace. Alrighty. Alright, let's jump up into that next part where we check out our tools and weapons, and we've got a lot of rocks for you. Starting out with this peeled potato for you. This is the potato rock, and well, it's a potato rock. I mean, there you go, potato. Next, we've got a first aid rock for you here. This is basically just kind of looks like a weird clumped up first aid kit. But honestly, if you ask me, I think someone just put a giant rock inside of like a first aid fanny pack and is now murdering people with what should be something for help. And I think that irony is exactly what describes Rust. Next, we've got a very shiny rock for you. Ever want to beat someone with some ore? Well, maybe you can if this one makes it in. This is the coppery rock. And you can see there's all of the little veins of the, what do you call it, corroding copper there. And yeah, just all together, very nice, shiny, beautiful little ore. Speaking of ore and so forth, this is another very shiny rock. This is the magic tar rock. I'm not sure what makes it so magic. Maybe because it's a green? I don't know. One way or another, this is definitely shiny. Then over here, we've got another rock for you. And this one, well, don't mistakenly eat it. This is Breakfast on the Rock. I like the name there. It also glows, so I'll be sure to show you that here at the end as well. Then last but not least, we've got the Cactus Rock, and it just looks like a chunk of cactus. And, well, there you go. I mean, it just, it fits. It really does. Next, we've got some tools for you, starting out with a very popular set. This is the Glistener Hatchet and Pickaxe. There you go. Definitely a set I could see selling quite well, as the Glistener set has been doing very well. Next, we've got another tool set for you, and it is quite fancy looking. This is the Gold 999 set. If you couldn't tell by the fact that it says 999 as gold, I mean, the name can pretty much, you know, get you right there. Kind of has like a little dragon scale kind of pattern there inside, which I thought was quite nice. And if we go ahead and pull out the pickaxe, you can see it has that going on as well as the large 999 on those gold bands as well. Next, we've got a couple of knives for you. This one is very fancy looking. This is the Kevlar combat knife by Firefly. And yeah, man, it's got some Damascus, there's some carbon, and it's a Kevlar, and the whole thing has just got everything going on. Definitely very cool. And over here we've got something a little more on the brighter side. It's kind of got a basic handle, but then the blade itself. This is the anti-matter combat knife. There you go. So very fancy looking. Quite neat. And this is something you would expect to glow, but it is not a glowing knife. Next, we've got a crossy for you, and it is part of the toy set, so of course, therefore, is the toy crossbow. You've got a very happy little flame going along there. Some more flames as you look down there. And as we load it, there you go. Take a look one more time this way. Aim down the sights again. Definitely a nice addition to a very popular set. Next, we've got a pumpy for you, something we don't always get to see very often. This is the Ardent Pump Shotgun. And yeah, it's just got some very kind of simple look to it, a little bit rust and tear, and it just fits right into rust, I think, with that look. Aiming down the sights here, not too much going on. I couldn't make some use of that little blank space there. Still, very decent double barrel. Next, we've got, that was weird, a custom SMG. It like came out and didn't. And this one has not too much going on. It's kind of a very simple looking SMG, and it looks like it has a spray painted job, but the focus should be the art. And it's just got these nasty teeth and a, you know, very wet looking slobbering tongue coming out there. Definitely a very subtle artwork, but very well done. This is the Monster Custom by Mr. Verona. So there you go. Next, we've got an MP5 for you, and this one is very, very colorful and bright. This is the Defacer MP5 by Anathan. It has two different versions, and one glows and the other doesn't. So I'll be sure to show you that here at the end, as always. Aiming down the sights, here you've got kind of like a little white tip to it, and yeah, a little kind of glowy face thingy. Not a glowing sight, though. Yeah, that's right, Polar Bear. You get out of here. Next, we've got some AKs for you, and this one is quite cool looking. This is the Mesmerized AK-47 by Duck. It comes in a blue and a green, but we don't have anything too much that's very green like this. So I thought I'd go ahead and show this one. If you want to check out the blue one, which is also equally cool, that is, of course, in the description in the workshop link below. Next, we've got a few more AKs for you, starting out with this one, which is very Cobalt themed. This is the Arctic Jacket AR, and you can see it's taking a lot of the patches and so forth from the Arctic Jacket, like the peak one, a little American flag, and then if you aim down here, you can see the crossed ice picks. It's got a red sight. Definitely altogether something that fits really well into the lore of the game. Looks like something that would have actually come out of Rust. Next, we've got something that's creative, and it's the Shovel AK, and it takes the shovel stock and draws on like a little rest of a shovel with dirt on the side of it there, and I think this is really creative. And yeah, it's just simple, but it is very cool, and they took the effort to actually also not just paint over all the different parts of the AK, which is always a really nice thing when doing artwork on the side there. Next, we've got another AK for you, and this one's on the cartoony side. This is the Bomb Attack AK, and yeah, it's got a little bomb with a screaming little tongue there, and cartoon pows and booms and all sorts of stuff kind of going on between the orange and the yellows and the blues. Aiming down the sights here, you got a mix of all three of those kind of colors with a black versus kind of a little bit of red sight, I guess. It's weird. It's kind of like a dark, dark red, I would say. Next, we've got an LR for you, and it looks like it is another Mud Runner. So here we got the Mud Runner LR, and yeah, it's just a very interesting concept. A lot of you guys seemed to dig it last time when I asked, so hey, we'll just have to see how Hulk feels about it. This is now the second one made, so we'll just have to see how that goes. Then next, we've got another LR for you, and this one is the standard issue LR, and oh man, I just love this clean look to it. It's very different from kind of that greenish gray that we're so used to for that default color, and yeah, it's just very nice and clean looking. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a little bit of a, like a neon green dot there with a red sight. Not glowing. And then we've got, speaking of glowing, this does have a glow version. This is one mean looking L96. This is Molten Bones, man. Look at this thing. That's crazy. Aiming down the sights there, there's even a crazy angry face to stare back at you. There we go. Let's shoot it off. See some bolt action there. And there we have it. But we've got one more for you, so we're just going to go ahead and drag it on down. It's a rocket launcher. We'll pull it on out here. Boom. There's your rocket launcher. This is the Glamorous Attack. So there you go. There's like little gems and hearts and other little stuff, smiley faces all going on. When you aim down the sight, there's actually even like a little target right there. I like that. It's quite funny. So there. Oh, and when you reload it, look, it is hot inside. That looks familiar. Maybe very similar to a certain rocket launcher I may have had. Ah, I see. One way or another, I think that's quite cool. So it was a neat effect. So that does it, everyone. Sound off down in the comments section below which ones you're looking forward to the most and why. And I guess we'll traditionally end by shooting a rocket at a tree. And we missed that tree, but hit another tree. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Stay rusty, and have a great one.